So, you're hiring your first employee in Australia? Okay, before you do anything else, you really need to hear this. There's a critical rule that so many new business owners miss. And trust me, getting it wrong can be an absolute disaster. We're talking about the day one rule.
All right, so first off, congratulations. You've made the leap. Your business is growing, and that is an incredibly exciting time. I bet your mind is just buzzing with onboarding plans, training schedules, payroll systems, all the big stuff, right?
But here's a question for you. What's the single biggest, most immediate risk to your brand new business? Is it making sales? Marketing? Your competitors? Nope. The biggest risk might be something you haven't even thought about, something that can go wrong on their very first day.
Let's make this real. Let's just push all the hypotheticals aside for a second. I want you to actually picture your own workplace, whether that's a bustling cafe, a quiet office, or a busy workshop, because a simple accident is all it takes.
Okay, so imagine you finally open that cafe you've always dreamed of. Your brand new hire, this amazing barista, is making their very first coffee, and bam, ouch, a nasty burn from the steam wand. It's a simple, everyday kind of accident that could happen anywhere, anytime.
And look, this isn't just a little thing they can shake off. They need to see a doctor, maybe even a specialist. I mean, they can't work the machine, can't even hold a cup properly for a good 2 weeks while that thing heals. So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? Who pays for the doctor's visits, the follow-up treatments, and what about their wages for the 2 weeks they physically can't do their job? If you're thinking, oh, that's what sick leave is for, or that they just handle it themselves, well, you could be in for a very nasty shock.
See, if you haven't prepared for this, the real cost goes way beyond one person's injury. We're talking about a potential storm, financially and legally, that could sink your new business before it even gets going.
Get this, we're talking about fines that can hit $55,000 depending on which state you're in. Just let that sink in for a second. For a brand new business, that's often a death sentence.
And believe it or not, it can get even worse. In really serious cases of not having this cover, this isn't just about money anymore. It's about potential jail time. That's how seriously the government takes this.
And as if that's not enough, on top of all those fines, you are now personally on the hook for every single dollar related to that injury. The medical bills, the rehab, their lost wages, all of it. That's coming straight out of your savings, your personal bank account.
So, you're at a fork in the road here. Down one path, catastrophic personal debt, legal nightmares. Down the other, your business is protected, your team feels secure, and you can sleep at night. It's a pretty clear choice, right? And the good news is, the solution is actually super straightforward.
So how do you make sure you're on the right path and avoid all of this chaos? It's all about something called WorkCover. Honestly, just think of it as this non-negotiable legal and financial safety net for your business.
Okay, so what is it exactly? The bottom line is this. WorkCover is a compulsory insurance for all employers in Australia. Its whole reason for being is to step in and cover the costs when someone gets hurt or sick because of their job. It is not a nice to have. It is the law. And what it covers is pretty amazing, actually. It'll pay for all their medical treatments, any rehab they might need to get back to work, and it covers their wages while they're recovering. It can even provide financial support for their family in the absolute worst-case scenario. See, by protecting them, you're really protecting yourself.
All right, so we've established you need it. But the next logical questions are, who exactly needs to be covered and where in the world do you even go to get this sorted? Let's dive into the practical side of things.
And when it comes to who needs cover, the law doesn't mess around. It's really broad. It doesn't matter if they're full-time, part-time, or a casual worker. If they work for you, they need to be covered. Heck, it even applies to some contractors, which is why you absolutely have to check the specific rules in your state.
And that brings us to the next really important point. This whole system is run state by state. So if you're in Victoria, you're dealing with WorkSafe Victoria. Over in New South Wales, that's iCare. Every single state has its own agency, its own little quirks, and its own rules.
Okay, so we've gone through the what, the why, the who, and the where. But none of that matters if you get the timing wrong. And this is the most important deadline you need to know about. So after all this talk of accidents, crazy fines, and personal liability, when do you actually need to have this insurance ready to go?
And here it is. This is the big one. The day one rule. You need to have your WorkCover policy signed, sealed, and delivered before your first employee starts their first day. Not on their first day. Before.
I can't stress this enough. This is completely non-negotiable. There is zero grace period.
It's not, I'll sort it out next week. It's not, I'll do it after their probation period. The second they are officially your employee, that legal requirement is active.
So, let's wrap this up with one final thought for you to take away. As you get ready to bring on that new team member, just ask yourself this one simple question. Have you done what's necessary to protect them, to protect yourself, and to protect the future of the business you're pouring your heart and soul into? Is your business truly protected for day one?